Welcome to a few moments together on the Parsha. This Shabbos, we have the privilege of reading Parshas Shlach. Shlach lecha anashim v'yasuru es eretz Canaan. Send out people, people who will spy out the land. Literally, the yaturu comes from the word tur, that tore out the land. And u'isem es ha'aretz mahi, see the land, what it's all about. And we're all familiar with the fact that 10 of the 12 leaders, unfortunately, came back with a pretty negative report about Eretz Yisrael. But Yoshua and Kalev did not. They came back with a glowing report, even though there were difficulties. Hashem is with us, because it doesn't matter what the physical situation is. The main thing is that we know that the land of Eretz Yisrael was given and promised to our forefathers, and Olon Alev Yerashnu Osa. We shall indeed go up, Olon Ale, I guess they made Aliyah, and we will possess the land. In the words of the Psukim, that it talks about the Meraglim going in the land, it says, Vaya'alu v'Negev. They went up through the Negev, because they came from the south, and they went through the Negev, and on the way to Yerushalayim, it says, Vayavo ad Chevron. And he came to Chevron. Now that's a grammatical anomaly, because it starts out by saying, Vaya'alu v'Negev. They went up through the south. And then it says, Vayavo ad Chevron. He, singular, came to Chevron. And Rashi explains that Yoshua went to Chevron to daven al kivrei avos, to daven by Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, that he shouldn't get involved with the negativism of the rest of the leaders. He shouldn't fall into the trap of being drawn in with the negative of the Meraglim. That's because the pasuk starts with the plural and ends with the singular. Why did he go to Chevron? What, in fact, is the reason that the city of Hebron is called Chevron? What's the origin of the word Chevron? The word Chevron comes from the word chaver. A chaver is a friend, or chibur, an attachment. That there's something that attaches the Jewish people through their forefathers, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, to the eternity of the people who founded and were the avos of Klal Yisrael and the land itself. The reason it's called Chevron is because we are attached in the sense that we're eternal. Because even though there are physical things about the land, such as the burial places of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, nevertheless, they are the spiritual leaders of the Jewish people who taught us the fact that we are forever, as the soul is forever. When you come to the land of Israel and you're eating all the beautiful produce and enjoying all the physical beauty of the land and enjoying the camaraderie of all the Chaverim Kol Yisrael, we have to know that there are some aspects of living in Eretz Yisrael, and this goes back all the way to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and to the Meraglim, that some of those aspects are somewhat difficult at times. And even though there are times when the Jewish people have to fight for the land and we lose so many, nevertheless, they went to fight because they know that there's an eternity in living and fighting for Eretz Yisrael, because Hashem promised us that there's a Chevron, there's a chibur between us and the land, and between us and all of our forefathers and the leaders of Klal Yisrael, and that there's a chibur between the guf and the neshama. It's not just the guf, as Reb Zev Weinberger Zal points out in the beautiful comment that he makes on this week's parsha in the Shemen HaTov. It's because we recognize that there's a lot more than just the physical nature of the land, and there's a lot more than just the physical nature of Klal Yisrael. And there's a lot more than just the physical pleasures of Eretz Yisrael. There's no question that Eretz Yisrael is filled with wonderful physical pleasures. I can testify to that because everybody seems to love the food in Eretz Yisrael. There's something special about it. You go to the market in the shuk and you see the abundance of delicious foods that are grown naturally. The flavor of the grapes, the flavor of the watermelon. It's unbelievable how delicious the foods are. And even the pita and the falafel, everybody raves about that which is in Eretz Yisrael because it's really enjoyable. But that's not all. The thing about Eretz Yisrael is the chevron, the chibur that we have between the guf and the neshama, and between our physical presence of being there and the soulfulness of being together with Eretz Yisrael, loving Eretz Yisrael, caring about the people. And even though we are almost always found in difficult times when we're there, or even when we're here in the United States of America, nevertheless, there's a certain unity. There's Chaverim Kol Yisrael. We are unified. We're together. We have a recognition of the spiritual nature of our bodies, our souls, and our friendships. And that's why perhaps the great leaders of the Jewish people were called a Chaver. We're friends. We're put together, and we recognize that we have both a physical nature and a spiritual nature because we are Chaverim Kol Yisrael. So in Parshas Shlach, even though there's no question that it gives us pause to think about our responsibility towards Eretz Yisrael, we have to remember that that responsibility and nature is inexorably intertwined between the physical nature of the Jewish people and the spiritual nature of each and every one of us and all of Klal Yisrael. I'm back in the United States temporarily, and Yetz Hashem, I hope in the near future I'll have a chance to come into the Young Israel Borough Park and greet everyone and share with you some of the beauty that I've experienced over the past few months, and we'll get together at that time. In the meantime, I want to wish everyone a wonderful Shabbat Shalom. It's Mevorchem HaChodesh. Enjoy the beauty of the Shabbos of Parshas Shlach, and remember, Vayavo ad Chevron. He, the individual, came to Chevron because he recognized the chibur, the connection between the guf and the neshama, and every one of us in all of Klal Yisrael, with each and every one of the rest of Klal Yisrael. Chaverim Kol Yisrael v'nomar Amen. Have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos.